Hello everyone. I think currently there's a lot of people discuss and talk about blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, DOT or Chainlink or something like that. So I think most of group and most of discussion now mainly focus on the trading aspect about the cryptocurrencies. So from my personal knowledge, I would like to present and provide a series of technical crypto review. And today, my first presentation will be about the Bitcoin, the king of all cryptocurrency. I would like to say that. And I hope that this series will help you have the basic knowledge about the cryptocurrency, about the Bitcoin and other coins as well. And I hope that after the presentation, maybe you can answer the question: what is the Bitcoin? What is cryptocurrencies? And from that knowledge, we can have more kind of conditions and the background to trade or to invest in the cryptocurrencies. Now let's move on the first presentation, and the talk today will talk about the Bitcoin. And in this talk, I would like to talk about the definition of Bitcoin, the technology behind the Bitcoin, and how we can earn Bitcoin and kind of own a Bitcoin as well, and application of Bitcoin, and finally some last tip update about the Bitcoin. As you know that about Bitcoin is one of the first cryptocurrencies. This you can see on the coin market cap. For example, they have a list, maybe the thousand of cryptos. For example, the first one is a Bitcoin with the price until today is a $57 per coin, and the market cap of it is 1 billion, over $1 billion. And the second is Ethereum and Binance coin is run a lot today, and USDT, Ripple, ADA, Cardano and Polkadot. I mean, all of the list here we call is cryptocurrencies. And so what is cryptocurrencies and what is a Bitcoin? This question will be answered in these presentations. So of course, Bitcoin, I would like to say Bitcoin is the first decentralized or digital currency. It is the king of all the cryptocurrency, and the price of Bitcoin will affect directly to every other cryptocurrency. For example, if Bitcoin increase or decrease, it will all the other coins will follow the trend of the Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is now can be used in various applications. For example, we have the ATM to deposit or buy or withdraw a coin on Tesla. Yeah, Elon Musk is the king. Elon allow people to use Bitcoin to buy a Tesla car. So the people also use Bitcoin for trade, and a lot of news about Bitcoin, and we can see that Bitcoin will be used everywhere in the future. I was from my actually from my opinion, I think the Bitcoin could be considered as an asset, not a kind of money or currencies. That's what I think. So who's the father of the Bitcoin? People say that the Satoshi Nakamoto is investor, or I mean inventor of Bitcoin, but until now, who is Satoshi Nakamoto is still a myth, and we don't know who is father Bitcoin. Maybe Elon Musk or Adam. I'm not sure. Yeah. Talk about the Bitcoin. So what is the Bitcoin? I would say the Bitcoin is the combination of the assets, distributed technologies, and the securities. I will explain step by step what is the Bitcoin in the next slide. And from the technology up behind the Bitcoin, as a new user, For example, we have the people A and people B here. We just need, if you want to transmit or want to own a Bitcoin, the first thing you need to do is you create a Bitcoin wallet. Bitcoin will be recorded and stored in a wallet. And how to create a Bitcoin wallet? You just need to download the apps or use the code wallet. I mean, the app is mean that you can use the Coinbase, the blockchain.com, or maybe the Binance, or for something, and other platform as well. And use the code wallet. The code wallet is is quite similar to an USB, yeah, to record or to store the Bitcoin. And from the wallet you can start sending or receiving Bitcoin from your friend, or you can buy or trade into the internet. For example, you want to transmit 0.5 Bitcoin to other people, or receive 4 Bitcoin from other people as well. You need a first thing is a Bitcoin wallet. So Bitcoin wallet is, from technical point we can say that is a pair of key in which we have the public key and you have the private key, and from the public key and private key you will have a Bitcoin address. Yes, you need to an address to receive the Bitcoin. It is very basic things, firstly. And talk about the technology after Bitcoin, I would say we have 3 main key points. The first one is the transactions, the second one is the digital ledgers, and the final is the mining process. Actually, there's a lot of other technology and other things we need to concern, but for the beginning, I would say we just need to simplify to understand what the Bitcoin and other technology for easy use. Yeah, okay. The first one we talk about the transactions. So what is a transaction? For example, if the people A want to transmit to B 0.5 Bitcoins, so they need to do a transfer of 0.5 Bitcoin to the B. So for example, A sends 0.5 to B, 0.5 Bitcoin to B, we call it a transaction. A transfer of Bitcoin from people A to people B, we call it a transaction. Similarly, B send this one should be 4 Bitcoin to A, so it's also a transaction. Yeah. So slowly we need to think about how we can make sure that the transfer of 0.5 Bitcoin and 4 Bitcoin here is secure, and how will the B can secure the transaction and make sure that the coin will be received by A exactly. So we need a signature here. Yeah. Imagine that you send a handwriting letter for your friend, and at the end of the letter you have the signature to make sure your friend will know that okay, the people who write this letter is their friend. So the signature here is a private key, your private key. So it's quite similar with the handwriting letter. So before I want to transmit 0.5 Bitcoin to B, he need to sign the transactions. Yes, the sign transaction based on the key of the people A. Yes, in this presentation I will not talk too much detail about the public key, private key, or infrastructure, but you can wondering we need to have a signature based on the key in your Bitcoin wallet to sign the transaction, so you can transfer the Bitcoin from to your friend or from someone who buy the Bitcoin from you. So finally, the transactions are needed to be broadcast and confirmed. As you can see on the figure here, this one is an example on Bitcoin address, and so maybe the question is that where is the transaction are broadcast to whom, and how the transaction can be confirmed. So this is the first definition of transaction. So we will move to next one about the blockchain. Okay, so the transaction is mean now I would like to say that the people A have a balance of 10 bitcoins now, and the people B has balance of 0.5 bitcoins. So blockchain is I would say a shared distributed ledger where it will record and store every information of the network. For example, balance of the people A and the balance of the people B, and every information in the Bitcoin wallet will be recorded. For example, the amount of Bitcoin or information of the transaction will be recorded to the network is in a distributed network, and in each node of the network they will have a ledger, and in the ledger here we will record a multiple transaction. Every transaction made by the people on the network will be recorded to the ledger. Yeah, one example, we come back to again the example. Now with the people A and people B, we assume that A and B also a node of the network with a Bitcoin address and wallet here. So A want to transfer 0.5 Bitcoin to B. So the first thing is that the A will need to generate a transaction that it will transmit the 0.5 Bitcoin to B, and it will withdraw 0.5 Bitcoin from A as well, and the transaction to the node of the network, for example, is to send to the internet, it will have one node of the blockchain, and they will broadcast the transaction to other nodes in the network, and then we do every node will do a mining process, verify the transaction. For example, check that the balance of A is higher or at least equal to 0.5 Bitcoin, and send to the wallet of the people B. The mining process is mean who will every node will compete together to verify the transaction, and who is the fastest people will receive a reward. It means they will receive a Bitcoin where they find a new block of they first you can see that when the node verify a transaction, all the transaction will put in a block, and which node find the fastest they can mine or they can verify the transaction fastest, and the transaction will be the first transaction of the new block, so they will receive a reward. A reward here it will be a 1 Bitcoin. They will receive a new coin. So you can see that here the setting ledger is include multiple blocks, and in each block we will have the block header, we will have the block body. In the block body we have multiple transactions, and the transaction of transfer 0.5 Bitcoin from A to B also will be recorded in a block. Yes, this is how the blockchain works. And what is the blockchain? The blockchain is a shared, I would like to say blockchain is a shared distributed ledger, and in the distributed ledger we have multiple blocks, and each block we have two parts, header and body. And body is include multiple transactions, which is verified and include in the ledger. Of course, I would say that how I have mentioned about the mining process and the verification process of the blockchain. We call it the blockchain is the proof of work process. For example, you have a transaction here, you want to put and you want to make a transaction. For example, you transfer 1 Bitcoin to other people's. You need to generate and sign the transaction, and the transaction will be put in the mining pool, and it will combine with other transactions to start verify a block, and each do multiple hash to find a nonce. If you have if a node achieves the target, for example, here we have 6 number of 0, the new block will be 5 and the transaction will be mined. Yes, we talk a lot about the blockchain, and maybe actually not all the coins using the blockchain technologies. Blockchain is just a subset of the digital ledger technologies. So what is the digital ledger technology? The DLT or digital ledger technology is a decentralized database managed by multiple participants across multiple nodes. It's quite similar with the blockchain, right? So blockchain technology will allow everyone involved in a transaction to know with certainty what happened. We call it transparency, and immutability. It means that no one can change the data on the blockchain. No one can change your transaction. Everything you do and every activities will be recorded to the ledger. So blockchain technology will allow the ledger that are immutable data in a secure and encrypted way to ensure that the record can be never entered. You can see on the figure we have the digital ledger technology. It will include the blockchain. We have the directed acyclic graph, the hash graph, holochain, or multiple technology as well. So from this slide, we just need to know that blockchain is a subset of the digital ledger technologies. And we also have the other technology like DAS, hash graph, or something like that. And yeah, so finally we have an overview of how blockchain works and how the Bitcoin is generated. To summarize what we talk about is, I would conclude in one slide that, for example, you want to send money to other people's. In the figure is A want to send money to B. So I just need to first sign a transaction with their private key and basically with their Bitcoin wallet with enough Bitcoin. The transaction then is present online as a block. The transaction, multiple transaction from will be collected and put in a block, and then the block is broadcast to all the nodes in the network. To every node we try to verify and mine the new block to put to the ledger. So every node need to approve the transaction is valid. They need to verify that. This process we call the proof of work or consensus, and then the block can be added to the chain which provides the transparent code of the transaction. It means that everyone can check the information of the transaction, and after that the money will move from A to B. Yes, so why we use the distributed and the blockchain? For example, in the centralized system with the store ledger, we have the problem with single point of failure, problem with high bandwidth and costly, and of course it has the advantage is easy to implement. But with the DLT and blockchain system, we have a reliable and scalable network, low bandwidth, cheap, and we can against the transmission latency and link failure. Of course, the final advantage is that it provides the technology which guarantee about the trust, the transparency, and immutability as well. So we move on the part of the blockchains. So what the blockchain also include multiple parts. For example, the blockchain, we have the public blockchain and the private blockchain, and also we talk about the permissionless and permission blockchain. For example, with the public blockchain, it means that anyone can write or anyone can read the information of the blockchain, and The private blockchain it means that one owner will decide who can write to the blockchain and who can access the data to the blockchain. And here the owner can decide who can read and for example, with the public and permissionless blockchain, we have the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and with the permission blockchain, we have the but public is that people I don't know who decide who can read, but everyone can write the repo, EOS or Ethereum. And for private network, we have the holochain. This means that anyone can read the data on the ledger, but an owner will decide who can write to the ledger. Here with the hyperledger fabric, the CODA or enterprise Ethereum, we have an owner can decide who can write to the ledger, but also an owner can decide who can read the data on the ledger as well. We have a lot of technology or blockchain. For example, we have the Bitcoin, Ethereum, IOTA, Hyperledger Fabric, Stellar, Ripple, Kurum, and one example, we compare the scalability or security, latency, and throughput of some for most application blockchain in the network. We talk about that the node will try to verify and validate the block. Actually, there's now and after that, if which node can fastly or find the or mine the node mine the block fastest, it will receive a reward. So actually, there's now only 21 Bitcoin will ever exist, and we still have just maybe 3 million Bitcoin to mine now. So the difficulty to mine the new coin is quite, it's very hard now, and we can see that it will increase from the at the beginning of 2017 until now 2021 is about pretty high, and it's quite difficult to mine the new block now. Even the way is that you can, we have some farm, we call it a Bitcoin mining farm. They have a lot of powerful device and nodes to mine or validate the new block, so they can receive the reward from from the Bitcoin network. And the average block size also increased from the beginning to now. So finally, we go to how to earn the Bitcoin. You can buy the device and set up. There's a lot of tutorial on the internet to make sure that you can set up and buy new Bitcoin. But I would say that for the single device, I think it's not worth to buy a new device to mine Bitcoin now. You can trade Bitcoin on the Binance and use blockchain.com, Coinbase, and Huobi platform, and you just can use the money and use this platform to trade Bitcoin and maybe hold Bitcoin. I think, yeah. Bitcoin can use in multiple applications. For example, in shopping, in make any payment, for example, through Amazon or PayPal. Yes, that's a funny figure from Binance president. I don't know. I don't remember exactly his name, but I copy his figure, the figure from his Twitter. That quite funny. From the beginning, the monkey is the dollars, and then we use a bank card. But now maybe they use Bitcoin. The people, human, use Bitcoin for any payment. Yeah. And some last news is that you can find in last news is bitcoin.com, and at this time the current price is $55,000, and it's up. Maybe we go to the DAO chain a little bit now and make a correction now. Yeah, that is all my presentation today, and I hope that everyone understand what is the Bitcoin, a digital asset and digital cryptocurrencies, and how Bitcoin is generated. Bitcoin is generated from the mining process of the blockchain network. And what is the mining? The mining is means that the node need to validate and join in a competence to verify transaction. And after which node is the fastest to verify the transaction, they will receive an incentive. That is what we call is a Bitcoin. And Bitcoin now can be used in multiple applications for shopping, for payment. The technology behind Bitcoin called blockchain, they can use for voting and a lot of applications in wireless technology or in the smart city, for example, because of their advantages in the transparency, immutabilities, and distributed. So it will make everyone can access the information will be transparency is the most thing, and we can trust just the data from the blockchain, and we can track who is the owner of the transaction and do every information we want to know. Yeah. Okay, that's it for today, and the next video will be about every coin, for example, Ethereum, Polkadot, Chainlink, IOTA, and other information. Thank you.